السلام عليكم، كيف حالك؟ كيفكم؟ شلونك؟ مرحبا، konnichiwa, ni hao, namaste, privyet, bonjour, buongiorno, saludos, hola, dag, hash, braviak, shamash, je suis Ali, Anna Alex, shalom. I am the CEO of Orca Oshi Capital, and shout out to my partner Ronnie, BTS, and an electronic dance music DJ. And I figured before we jump right in, I would read to you all some of the words of wisdom from women of LinkedIn and Twitter and Instagram. I always talk about how the men encouraging me as an emerging manager and emboldening me to use my voice to speak on things from triangular arbitrage to a quantitative order book analysis to my love for macroeconomics is the world to me. So to every man, thank you so much for sharing, caring, emboldening. And before we just start talking about China, the yuan, and the world, let's just lighten it up. I finally gotten some words of wisdom from women, so I thought you all should hear them. And because again, it's going to be quite saturated, let's just start with some humor, such as, I never use notes, but Alex, you're a bitch, eat a burger. Sit like a lady. You're the reason women are losing rights. Shut the fuck up, you stupid. Kike. Well, okay, since I've never been one to be told how to sit, that's a new one. China, Russia de-dollarization project 2014 now really bearing fruition, and seeing Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and Iran and Argentina wanting to join that alliance is quite unsettling for someone who wanted to remain the world reserve currency, but sees the IMF ever so eloquently saying, USA, you're not going to do that. For example, Sweden's currency, and I'm going to butcher the names, so just, non depende fi sunt santas pripo moi, je suis désolé. Obviously, it's not to offend anybody. Swedish, the Kona, it sounds kind of like, or looks like Corona, but Kona. South Korea, won, diversify currencies, which again is why I go back to talking about how I think one of my favorite strategies, hypothetically, allegedly, is triangular arbitrage, but in a more digitalized way where you can jump in and out of digital currencies and cross-trade exchange for profit, hypothetically, allegedly. Nonetheless, China and Russia also doing things such as threatening Guam. Not great. We only have 40 million Americans in poverty, about 40 million get on food stamps. We are breaking records of debt when it comes to credit card, 1.13 trillion. And the trade deficit with China is just a mere 386 billion. So we're losing big time. And yet people don't seem to understand that at all. And let's just talk, if I see any more people talking to me in euphemisms about rights, I highly doubt the founding fathers would be very silent about the existential threat of the modern day Mao. And so stop with the euphemisms and bodily autonomy, okay? If freedom begins with your pocketbooks and finance, and then that's my personal opinion, I highly stand by it. And if you're someone that cannot see that, then you might just be one of those people telling me that I'm the reason that you guys are moving on. Israel's $200 billion fund is diversified by them getting rid of dollars and adding more diversity with the yuan. But I do find it interesting, 1 in 5 people in China are plugged, if you will, with the yuan app. The yuan ruble trading has gone up 1,000, which is just cactus fucking the dollar dominance in Forex. And the yuan usage has gone up 1,800%. Didn't say I didn't tell you. 5 currencies identifying as one: the yen, the yuan, the USD, the pound, and the euro. Yikes. It's a central bank digital currency race, and America, what are you concerned about? I believe the bodily autonomy with euphemisms taking over the headlines, hijacking it, is quite the distraction, if you ask me. We did have mortgage rates go below 6% this past week. It's going to go right back up, clearly. Foreclosures are up 150% plus from a year ago. More to come, because let's be real, subprime lending, avec moi, or from me, with me, is looking to be in the form of Freddie and Fannie. If 60% of Americans are taking loans from Freddie and Fannie and they're putting $12,000 down on the average home of $400,000, with a average median about 30 to 35K income, with a $400,000 home, with a 6% mortgage rate, if you have good credit. The adjustable rate mortgage is making a comeback, which to that I say, just take a bucket list trip and vacation, because no, that is not the way to go. The Federal Reserve stress test came in, and I find that to be so interesting. I would love to sit in a room and solve that. I am going to be super easy on Jerome Powell, because I think if we just look at the paradigm shift of dollar dominance going bye-bye, we need to all be on the same page in regard to fiscal policy. So as much as I may disagree with him and expect better from the Carlyle Group, I'm going to stick by them and say, you all better be damn blessed the Fed Reserve is doing risk assessment for a recession, etc. Stress test came in. Numbers looked good. I haven't been able to fully review it, but I did see where JP Morgan, Bank of America, and Citi are going to require more capital in order to fully fulfill the ratio of the stress test. And I can do a full different video breaking that all down. But I wanted to talk about crypto, because as someone as a digital asset management fintech junkie, what can I say? Bitcoin trading linear to tech stocks, yikes. I always told many of you I wanted to get secondhand mining equipment from people jumping in, and to everyone who told me what an idiot I was for not hyper obsessing, and more so hyper obsessing over the brilliant minded technological engineers and developers and everything STEM of those who are creating the shit coins and essentially not giving a damn, because they're just getting money from venture capital, and I don't blame them. They're getting the money, feeding themselves, they're not being treated well, and they don't have a creative say from start to finish. So you wonder why shit coins are going to 0.00000. Pay the people that are developing them better, perhaps give them beneficial ownership, and you might see a change. Take a note from my playbook. To see Coinbase, and I'm going to do a second part because I have always been against Brian Armstrong since the moment I just saw his face, because I just didn't get a good vibe as someone who is GDAX. And if you know what GDAX is, you probably know how impatient it was, just waiting and waiting and waiting for that Bitcoin to fiat. Timing would take, and might be a little resentful like myself for those that just get it so damn easy with ACH. Nonetheless, to see Goldman downgrade Coinbase about, I want to say 70% to sell, was a dream come fucking true to myself, because Brian Armstrong has done such a great PR job of covering up all of his literal, non-exaggerative, non-fake, if you will, because it's gone to court and been proven, discriminates against women and blacks, quite literally. And I didn't see front page for that. And I also have an issue that him and Jack Dorsey have a lobby and a fund they created in April of last year, the first week to be exact, within 24 hours apart, with Fidelity. But I have nothing against the people that work at Fidelity, Vanguard, all of that, love you. But it's really just Jack Dorsey, Brian Armstrong, and Fidelity. And that's what inspired me to become a lobbyist, because I don't want those cucks telling me about how I should regulate, trade, or asset manage digital assets or be taxed on them. But they damn sure wanted to. Ooh, did they? But nonetheless, Robinhood, another existential threat and disaster to mankind. I keep saying we partied like it's 1929. Now we're seeing the effects. from the layoffs to I don't know what. I do know about a hedge fund, a crypto hedge fund allegedly, that is gone and defaulted, and to Voyager, which I do believe is an exchange I onboarded to, and there was some sort of mistake. So I just look at this as a gift from God and a blessing that I didn't use my corporate account to trade with them, because yikes. But I shall be back for part 2. I love you all. We're going to go easy on the Fed because we are going to really hammer down some of the macroeconomic ramifications of what's going on overseas and make sure that no one is missing it, because stocks being down 21% plus from a year ago, and 401ks now looking like 201, 101, or none 01ks is a problem. Unless you're a contrarian investor, and then you're probably sitting back with your cash stash. And we're just going to delve a little bit deeper, part 2.